new season's gameplay feels a bit stagnant. Kind of like, wait a second, is that Moisty Meyer? Where did you go? Come back! Alongside the map changes, some much needed changes I think we could also use are weapon changes. Epic won't change the game, so let's do it for them. Whether it's adding in new ones or out with the old. In protest of no updates and the new weapon side grader thingy, which by the way, has anyone even used that thing? Seriously. Here's our list of 10 guns all players hate and Epic. If you're watching this, maybe read the comments. No shade, but like, seriously. Number 10, P90. The compact SMG is more commonly known as the P90 because, well, it is one. It was added into Fortnite a while ago during Season 5, and immediately after it got put into the game, people were going crazy over how overpowered it was. This thing was a beast, and it pretty much created the spray and pray meta where you just hold left click and hope you win the battle. After only a few days, this thing was nerfed by Epic, and it's become pretty iconic as it's come and gone over the years. Now I can tell you about how much people hate it and how overpowered it used to be, or I can show you. Let me show you some clips of people using this broken P90. Let's just watch. This thing was like the Widowmaker from GTA, where you can just laser people and not have to worry about reloads because, well, the P90 had 50 bullets in it. Who at Epic Games was in a meeting and just goes, guys, I have an idea. Let's add a gun with 50 bullets that can mow down enemies and builds. Laser Beam ended up getting 3 purple P90s in a match and just spammed them at people. And it was just ridiculous. No wonder it was one of the most hated guns in the game at the time it came out. Came back in Chapter 2, and it's still pretty nuts. Number 9 is the Stink Bomb. Do you guys remember the Stink Bomb? These weren't exactly overpowered, but they were just so annoying. You'd be minding your own business in a match, and then you'd hear a shh sound, and then suddenly you got gas all around you. But then you hear another one, and more, until you realize someone has thrown like 6 stink bombs at you. At that point, I just want to leave the match, because when I put it like that, it sounds just completely insane. I mean, you can have these things in stacks of 6. So when you grow a little collection, you can throw an enemy off so hard by throwing as many stink bombs as you can at them. There's a clip where this guy has like 12 stink bombs and just keeps throwing them over and over until he downs the enemy. They don't do much damage on their own, as you can see, but when you throw that many stink bombs at someone, it's both super annoying and can throw you off a lot. It's actually a decent way to counter someone who builds 10-story skyscrapers whenever you shoot one bullet at them. Although it's not too effective, because in this video, someone throws like 5 stink bombs at the builder and they still get outplayed. The stink bombs were vaulted with Chapter 2, but you can still find them and create it. This is one of many examples that Epic Games can take notes on not to add items like stink bombs kinda stunk, and still do. Number 8, the minigun. Next up, we have the minigun, which was pretty OP until Epic absolutely ruined the gun with that overheat feature and nerfs. But as I said, it was pretty overpowered when it came out, especially for shooting down builds. It's hard to tell you numbers about how OP it was and assume you'll just know what I'm talking about. So let's just show you. This was the minigun when it first came out, and someone decided to place down 99 builds of each different material and calculate how long it would take for a gold minigun to shoot through it. I mean, watch this. This is madness. This is just insanity. It just took 51 seconds to shoot through 99 builds. If that doesn't show you how insane the minigun for countering builds was when it first came out, just think about the fact that you were able to just sit there and shoot the gun for an entire minute without reloading, assuming you had full ammo, not including the golf cart minigun strategy, which, by the way, was kind of broken and really stupid, but yeah. And there are also videos of people using the minigun with shopping carts to go supersonic speed. To finish my point off, can I please ask why Epic loved giving us miniguns so much in supply drops? Like, geez, we don't want them anymore. You nerfed them too much, Fortnite. At least they're vaulted now. Number 7 is the gray pistol. Oh my goodness gracious. This thing. Every single one of us has played a match of Fortnite where you land and we need to find a gun, but we've looked everywhere. Literally all you've been able to get is some ammo boxes and bandages. It is the worst. But then you see the one gun that's left, a gray pistol. Yep, it happens way too often, and of course your enemy ends up getting a pump or a scar, even though you couldn't find anything. It's so stupid. So the gray pistol is unique in this video because while a lot of guns are hated for being overpowered and stuff, the gray pistol is just the worst because no one even uses it unless it's all they have, or if they get extremely lucky. And by that, I mean there's videos on social media of people getting the luckiest eliminations I've ever seen with something as weak as a gray pistol. Also, for those of you with the trigger finger saying it's good, your fingers are not normal. Number 6, Infantry Rifle. The Infantry Rifle has been both a great gun and also an absolutely awful, garbage, terrible piece of equipment. I mean, it was something that tried to be a mix between a normal assault rifle and a hunting rifle, but it just didn't work in the conventional sense. At first, the Infantry Rifle was super weak and took a ridiculous amount of shots to take someone out. Not only that, but the travel time sucked, so the bullet would lag before it even hit the enemy. When pro players began using it, they weren't so lucky with people like Myth, well, doing this. I agree, it was a truly terrible gun, although Ninja actually disagreed with that. He thought it wasn't bad at all, and that it was a better AK? I mean, I don't think so, Ninja, but you do you. Yeah, players hated this gun a lot, and while it got better over time with buffs, it just wasn't worth picking up, even though the gun was literally everywhere. I mean, come on, Epic. Why did you have to make the spawn rate so high? Number 5, we're talking about the grenade launcher. Everyone loves the grenade launcher when they actually have it in their hands, but any other time, we all pretty much hate the thing. We talked about how stink bombs being thrown at you over and over is the most annoying thing in the world, but honestly, the grenade launcher is like that times 10. If people spam these things into your builds while someone else is shooting at you, or even like multiple of them, if you had a team of players and 2 of them had grenade launch, it was basically just, you may as well just log off. If you had enough ammo back in the early days of the launcher, you were able to just shoot grenades over and over at the same place. So even if someone was turbo building to defend themselves to any extent, they'd just get spammed out with grenades. The clips of grenade launchers spammers seeing building and just bombarding them with those pesky grenades are both hilarious, but also give me traumatic flashbacks of when stuff like this happened to me. Even Dakota's got his hands on double grenade launchers and just kept spamming explosives at builds. It was so broken. Not to say it wasn't fun. I mean, explosives only. I'm pretty sure we were all there. Not to mention how Fortnite tries to disguise it sometimes as an egg launcher or snowball launcher. We know your tricks, Epic. We know it's the same thing. I'm on to you. Number 4 is the Revolver. So the Revolver that was added back during Fortnite's 14 Days of Summer, that's all right, I guess. But the original Revolver, boy, oh boy. It was a weird gun that put you in these situations right off the spawn where you either have to hide and attempt to use it as a sniper or just walk into the enemy's room and get blasted in the face with a shotgun. Every single shot had a delay between it because the gun had this weird recoil on it. So you hit someone once, and in the time it takes you to be able to shoot again, you've already been one pumped in the head. The videos of people trying to go Revolver only in Fortnite are great because they barely get any eliminations at all. It was really a terrible weapon. I mean, it gets to the point where you're at risk of being pickaxed because of how awful the gun is. Even the scoped version of the Revolver, which was literally made for long range, has awful damage on it. Some people have got some impressive eliminations with the Revolver though, but getting a trick shot is really all it's good for. I personally will be sticking to something else. The other version of the Revolver, the newest version, even the good ones, are essentially like the little deagle that couldn't. And it's your number 3 spot. We've got C4. Is C4 in its prime? Oh boy, this thing was devastating. You see someone building, just run up to them, throw some C4 down, and blow their entire world sky high. The damage was insane, and the range was great too. So naturally, most people who love to build hated these things, like a lot. Although they were used to troll people so much, players would put the C4 on shopping carts and throw it down a hill, or they'd run at people with the explosives. They even set up booby traps and wait in a bush. It's funny how much Ninja plays Fortnite, or at least used to, because for every single hated item, there's a video out there of Ninja getting destroyed by that exact weapon. It's hilarious. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but all you have to do is look for Ninja getting eliminated by any weapon you want to see, and there's a good chance you'll find a video of it. We hate you, C4, and we hope that you don't come back. Number 2 is the drum gun. There's a lot to talk about with the drum gun, but I'll keep it pretty brief. We all know the journey this weapon has been through when it first came out and was extremely overpowered. Pretty similarly to the P90 where you could just spray people down with a massive amount of bullets. It was kind of stupid. However, the drum gun got vaulted, and after a few seasons, we finally got an unvaulting event where the community overwhelmingly voted for the drum gun to come back, and so it did. But people regretted it pretty quickly. If you had more than one drum gun, you could shoot pretty much forever. It was non-stop, just switch from one to the next and keep spraying your enemies. The drum gun is pretty hated all across the board from one Fortnite player to the next, and while it's extremely fun to be on the giving end of that, the receiving end, not so much. And the only people who actually liked it were the people who used it all the time. Everyone else was just getting destroyed by this thing constantly. It was just way too overpowered. But in number 1, we've got the rocket launcher. In at number 1 is one of the most hated normal Fortnite guns out there, the rocket launcher. We're especially talking about the RPG when it first came out and didn't have that new 13 rocket limit. At first, you could just keep shooting rockets at people over and over again. Not to mention, rocket riding is still a widely used tactic. We've had grenade launcher spam, we've had stink bomb spam, and even C4 spam, but the worst of all is rocket launcher spamming. It is just the worst. And with the RPG being one of the only guns on this list to actually still be in the game in Chapter 2, it's still frustrating when you get decimated by 10 rockets flying at you one after the other. There is no escape at all, especially if someone pairs multiple RPGs, so there isn't even much reloading involved. You have to see this clip of TSM Daquan using a triple rocket launcher setup. It is so dumb. I genuinely cannot believe it.
What are you talking about, kid? Get out of my game.
I see you, boy.
Oh yeah, you stand there, baby girl. That's what I like to see.
So there you have it, your 10 guns all Fortnite players hate. But hey, Epic Games, now you know what not to do, and there are a few of these in the game still right now, so weapon balance. Leave your comments on how you think they should fix some of these things, or any new weapons you think that could further add to the game down below. Use code T5G in that item shop and keep it right here on Top 5 Gaming.